you actually believe a Jedi would return here? After all they've done to us? They wouldn't dare.
They certainly would. You remember how they were. Always so superior, so arrogant, and never lending a hand when we really needed them.
I still don't believe it.
You should. My cousin's friend, he used to tend the gardens around the Enclave. He swears he saw a Jedi in Kunda. Could be hiding anywhere.
Well, I hope it's true. I hear there's a bounty on them, and we could certainly use the money.
Unless somebody beats you to it.
Welcome to Kunda. You're a salvager, right? You'll need to see Administrator Adare to get access to the ruins. If you need directions to anything else, just ask. You're not. The only heavily armed people that visit us are either salvagers or mercenaries. And you don't look quite gritty enough to be a mercenary. Her office is directly behind this room. You really can't miss it. She can see you now if you like. The things that would most interest you are our weapon merchant, Tanzeron, the leader of our militia. Akari is still around here somewhere too. He sells droid components.
A lot of people here hate you.
Are you waiting for the administrator too? You won't have to wait too long. But if you want results, now that you may never get here.
Before the Mandalorian Wars, we were making great gains in civilizing this world. The Kinrath and Kath Hounds were mainly under control. We were small, but prosperous.
Then the Republic gets invaded by those flaming Mandalorians. Then a few years after that, the Jedi Civil War. We're lacking in manpower and supplies. Add to that the mercenaries. I feel a certain empathy with them, but that doesn't make them any less of a problem for us. War is brutal. The Jedi Civil War was worse than most. After that, a lot of us veterans didn't even have a home to go to. Others just got lost. The war trained us to fight. Some of us just wanted to look for the next battle. It was easier than dealing with what was waiting at home.
Many of the mercenaries here were just foot soldiers on both sides of the conflict. They were just trying to make a life for themselves. That's true. Discipline is the only thing that keeps an army from becoming an armed mob. These mercs don't seem to have much discipline at all. That could mean disaster for all of us.
Kunda's like a droid without its power cell. Useless. We have problems all over, and the most you can get out of the administrator is a pat in the back.
I'm sick of all their excuses and empty words. I need justice now.
I fought in the war, and I know how to use my blaster rifle. If the administrator or Zeron doesn't do something, then I will. What am I supposed to do? Salvagers keep trespassing on my land and stealing my farming equipment. They grab anything they can get a hold of. I'm not a violent man. I've had my share of it in the war. I sincerely hoped I could just hang my blaster rifle on the wall as a souvenir for my grandchildren.
But I can't farm without my equipment.
My farm is the closest to the Enclave ruins. It has to be someone nearby, and if the mercenaries wanted it, they'd just take it in broad daylight. The closest place besides that is the salvager camp, so it has to be them. You ever met one of them? Thievery wouldn't be too far a stretch for any of them. The other day I had to take a shot at one of them. Soon someone is going to get killed, and Dantooine has enough trouble without that. A lot of farming equipment. It's not even valuable, just important for the moisture vaporators and hydroprocessors. I'm desperate for credits. I suppose you could. Actually, you almost look like a salvager.
If you could go to this salvager camp and convince the salvager Joran to return my modulator, I would be very grateful.
I'm not rich, but I have some souvenirs from the war I could give you.
These war trophies are advanced weapons, as some of the Sith troopers had. Heavy ordnance, which wouldn't be much good for defending my home.
I might be able to offer more if you take care of the problem, though. Can you help me out? Great. Certainly not getting any help around here. If you need to know anything more, just ask me.
Your luck is not of the hapless settler. You are the newcomer that lands in a battered ship, yes. No friendly greetings are here for you. You act like I have insulted your man, your ship I haven't seen. But if it takes after you, it can't be in perfect condition. I am done being inconvenienced by you.
Tochi monas runta, yun bola, wataka tochi bulira, ikasa kantone toshak. Posoma oritushniki tuk pamba, bora, ino molira nibonon, kin umpatno koktek. Posoma oritushniki tuk pamba, bora, ino molira nibonon, kin umpatno koktek. Posoma oritushniki tuk pamba, bora, ino molira nibonon, kin umpatno koktek. Hoshmanfu ni wado ni kuta maasapa. Tong hitwamaji. Yumaliba to atong into tune. Hoshmanfu ni wado ni kuta maasapa. Tong hitwamaji. Yumaliba to atong into tune. Insoranaka megunsoji. Nekchi unabola monchi wataton. Sobodono viselchamaka. Fasa susho wi, kana ina doka ches, kapato rondi loso chi rana dikpi, na ji ka chi a hubang ka.
Charanana Gundo Mana Terewan
I hear you.
I hear you. Came from. More where that came from.
What is it? More where that came from. Let's settle this. Yes.
from. Let's settle this.
Yes. I hear you.
Yotapak mito, hai best ni ta tochi mapa krawenosha. What a lord chiba fusot bachila nuba chubanok. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lispa. Krempawi cho simorangta weba gonorimbo. Harandoto, jun sorito mas, jurun makagroto soto. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lispa. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lispa. Charika yayakta min sobachina ni.
Just like a Jedi.
Charika yayakta min sobachina ninga ballo cha juksonicho. Kavanata galu, kavanami donki grato. Kavadumpa, mo wendido chokerembi norta kunyun wish chawaka chuba. Sura dachi morotuko gansa. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chilumali. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chilumalispa.
More where that came from. Came from. Time to take you down to size.
What is it?
Just say the word.
What is it? Your thoughts are disturbed. I can feel them like a shiver running through you. Force-sensitive locations such as this absorb and reflect force energy. The crystals are the catalyst here. I sense that Revan once passed through here, leaving a strong impression behind in the crystals. Perhaps future Jedi who visit this cave will feel our presence, as if seeing our footprints preserved in the soil. The crystals here are infused with the Force. Some could be harvested and used for lightsabers. The crystals here do not drain Force energy from Jedi. They collect the excess energy that radiates from those attuned to the Force. The crystals here are infused with the Force. Some could be harvested and used for lightsabers. The crystals here do not drain Force energy from Jedi. They collect the excess energy that radiates from those attuned. Yes. Yes.
Where that came from? Everyone down!
Focus.
More where that came from. Time to...
Let us end this. Fallen. Crystal responds to you. This is very rare indeed. You scoff at this gift, but many Jedi would greatly covet such a treasure. The crystal's bond with you is such that the stronger you become in the Force, the more powerful your crystal will grow. This crystal will make an excellent focus for a lightsaber. Quite the contrary. Picture yourself as a sieve, and the Force as water pouring into you. This crystal draws from the excess water that escapes the sieve. The crystal is in tune with you. It will use whatever water that pours through you, be it dark or light.
Yeah?
What? You shouldn't sneak up on an old fella like that. You shouldn't be out of here anyway. This is Kinrath territory. There was a time when seeing a Kinrath was a rare thing. They mostly were around some caves to the south of here. But now, they're everywhere. They're dangerous, too. More vicious than they used to be. I'd stay away from the eastern side of the plains. And now that I think about it, stay away from the west, too. The west is filled with cath hounds. Dantooine is in a sad state these days. A couple weeks back, there was an accident here. One of the western fringe farmers we found him dead and his swoop bike all banged. I'm one of the Kunda militia. They need all the able bodies they can get. I was a Republic custom inspector before I came back home. Now I'm the closest thing the militia's got to an investigator. I do. The Kinrath are dangerous. But as long as you stay on your swoop bike, there's no way they should catch you. I've carefully searched this area and haven't found anything. So maybe our man just got sloppy. We really need those atmospheric sensors.
But Dantooine is temperate. There is no need for atmospheric sensors except for seasonal data collection.
Huh? It's just important we get it back. They're expensive pieces of equipment, and we can't afford to replace them. Regardless, I don't suppose... I'll pay you 1,000 credits for each one you find, whether they're broken or not. No idea whatsoever. I figure it's a...
I don't know about that. They are vitally important pieces of equipment on tectonically or environmentally unstable regions. But do you really need atmospheric sensors on Dantooine? I'll have this open in no time. Child's play.
I don't suppose you found any of those atmospheric sensors. That's great news. My office still stands. It is worth more to us than that. Thanks for your... I don't suppose you found any of those atmospheric sensors. That's great news. My office... I was afraid of that. So, how do we do this, then? We were picking up off-world transmissions between the mercenaries and someone we don't know who. We know that the mercs are up to something, we just don't know what. We set those atmospheric sensors up to gather information. Now you know why we need those sensors. I'll pay you 5,000 credit. You make money and help us. Yeah, that's admirable of you. Thank you. I'll get this back to Zeron when I get back to Kunda.
Hey, General. You look like you've been standing too close to one of my shield generators. Whoa. Claws out today, aren't they? Seriously, you don't look that way from spending extra time in the fresh air. I've seen other Jedi, not many but a few, who look like that. And I feel strange around you. A little more. Was there something you wanted me for?
Thanks for helping out the militia.